it's Christy here again with another installment of my October Daily 2016 mini album. I'm starting to lose some steam, some momentum here, and I'm kind of thankful that the month's almost over, to be honest. I think it's just the fact that I'm running low on some supplies and I don't have as much ephemera as I would like, so yeah, and also I really want to get back to doing weekly Project Life process videos and getting up to date in that album, and so I'm just falling further behind. But anyways, this video is for October 17th through to the 23rd, so probably after this video I'll only have probably two more, probably one for the 24th to the 30th, and then maybe one last one for the 31st, and a wrap-up video. I'm not sure, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so this is the 17th and the 18th, and not a lot happened. I think this was a Monday and a Tuesday, so we just pretty much hung out at home. There's a photo there of my husband reading a bedtime story, and a photo of Adeline just chilling in her crib, so not a lot of photos. So even if you think you don't have anything to document on for a daily album, you can include these everyday moments, and it's not a big deal. You don't need to have something festive and exciting happening every day, because if you did, your album would probably be 2 albums or maybe even 3 albums. And some people have that, and that's okay, but for me, I really wanted to contain it to this one 4x4 mini album. And so to do that, I'm using just a 2x2 photo for each one of these days and calling it good. So yes, so I just added a little label to this, just say lazy days at home, just so that it kind of talks a little bit about what's happening, I guess, in these photos. Like I said, I'm running low on some ephemera pieces, so I'm using a little scrap there. And I'm just switching these two cards around because I didn't like the flow of the numbers. I did that before in a previous video, so I like to read it like more left to right, so that's why I switched those around. And so for that double page spread, there was actually 3 days. And then we have days like this, where it's one day and it's a double page spread. So this is for the 19th. We went to the fire station here in my city. Well, there's multiple fire stations, obviously, but we went to one of the fire stations with our mommy group, and Nora got to ride the fire truck and drive it, and we went in the back of the truck and checked it all out, and it was a really fun time. So there's a few photos from that, and then when I printed my photos, I also had this extra photo. So because I had all those 2x2 pockets to fill, I decided to include that as well. So I'm really struggling. I want to make it kind of different but yet similar, but I don't want to make it too bulky. So I'm really like just struggling with myself as to like what embellishments to include and what embellishments maybe to save for later in the month, when I know that we're gonna have lots of like Halloween stuff happening. So these pages aren't my most creative, but I wanted it still to flow and to incorporate the ephemera and the spider webs and that sort of thing. And so I've stapled a spiderweb doily onto this 2x2 square, and I want to cover the staples, so I think that I'm going to use that weird science thing, but it just doesn't fit and it really bothers me, so I decided instead to add a spider. And because I used a spider doodle pop on the day previous, I just switched it out instead for a frog, and I really like the way that looks. It just brings a little bit more green in the previous day spread. So I just add a little pumpkin because I chose a little cutout that says hi pumpkin, so I wanted to include a pumpkin there. I think it's pretty cute. And just do a little bit of journaling on the photo. Alright, so that was the 19th. Now we're on to the 20th. My dog got a haircut. You quickly just saw a picture there of my dog. I don't do any embellishing on that photo. Instead, I have this 4x4 filler card right beside it. So I decided to do all my journaling and embellishing for the 20th on this card just to keep it simple and clean. So I am just backing the photo for the 21st with this star paper, and I wanted to incorporate another green doily because I had used those previously at the beginning of my album. So I decided to use this green doily. I think it's the last one I have. And I make a silly mistake in using this adhesive, which is not clear and not the good choice for using on a doily. But anyway, so I try to like peel it up and it just doesn't work. So I tactfully place it where most of the adhesive will be covered and you won't really notice it. So, yeah. This is probably one of my least favorite filler cards in my album. I feel like it could have been a little bit more exciting. I could have chosen to use some of my bigger embellishment pieces. I do use that eek, which I'm glad I used, but I like to choose embellishments that like fit the picture, I guess, and it's getting difficult with this album, especially when we're not doing a lot of like festive Halloweeny things. So I just choose the word eek, because it's a new look. It's a new look for my dog, I guess. He was getting pretty shaggy, so I just choose a few tiny word stickers. One says wonderful, and one says chilly weather or something like that, and just do a little journaling, talking about how Bam Bam went for haircut and how it's always a weird day when the dog isn't here. He was gone the whole day just going to get his haircut. So it's always a weird feeling when there's a dog missing and you don't have to let him out or you don't hear him barking all the time. So I should probably choose those days to do my voiceovers. Alright, so I just added a little bow and some journaling there, like I said, and that's done. Like I said, it's not my favorite filler card, but what I might go back and change it maybe towards the end of the month when I see what kind of embellishments I still have left over. Alright, so now we're getting into be a little bit more festive. On the 21st, we went to a Halloween party, and Nora was dressed up as Alice from Alice in Wonderland. My mom made Adeline a little Cheshire cat hat, and then I had a little headband for the Mad Hatter. You can't see it in the picture, but I was wearing it. That's the only downside of doing like the 2x2 and the 4x4 photos is that you really have to be mindful of that when you're taking your photos. So I took a portrait style selfie, and when I had to trim it down for the 4x4 photo, I ended up cutting off my hat so you don't get to see it. But yeah, you just kind of have to be a little bit more mindful, especially when choosing photos to include. It's really difficult sometimes too not to like cut off heads and faces and arms and all kinds of body parts. So just keep that in mind if you're thinking about doing an album this size. I much prefer the 6x8 album. I'm really missing that. I'm really looking forward to that size for December daily because you don't have to do a lot of thinking in your planning of your printing of photos. So if you have a portrait formatted photo, then that's your 3x4 pocket. If you have a landscape photo, that would be your 4x6 horizontal. Yes, horizontal. My goodness, horizontal photo. So there's just less thinking. Obviously, too much thinking for me as I'm doing this voiceover. Alright, so we went to a Halloween party on the 21st, so I just did a little bit of that. And on the 22nd, we went to another little Halloween party. These are friends of Nora, and she's known them in utero, I guess. They're from our birth and babies class. So when I was pregnant with Nora, we had a prenatal class that we went to, and we still get together for holidays and the odd play date. So these are some of her friends. and it's really cute. This is like their third Halloween celebrated together, so that's so cool. Yeah. So just have a photo. So in this photo, for example, there's actually a fifth person that I had to. She didn't make the cut. She just didn't make the cut. So she's included on a photo on the other side of the layout. But she just the way that the photo was printed, and I had to trim it to 4x4. So she was cut. Alright, and on the 23rd, we went to a nearby petting zoo and farm for a pumpkin hunt. Earlier in the month, Nora, Adeline, and I went to this farm and did a pumpkin hunt as well. This time, Erin was able to join us, so there's a photo of the four of us there, and then a photo of Nora decorating her pumpkin. And then on the opposite side, there's a photo of Erin and Nora just sitting with some hay bales and some pumpkins. So yeah, just doing a little bit of embellishing. I'm really loving including the bows and the vellum hearts and the enamel dots. It's a really good opportunity for me to use up some of those enamel dots that I've been neglecting. And because I had this spare pocket, I used another shaker pocket there and add some more doodle pops. So quite a few days included in this video. I'm just going through now just to see if the flow is good to my eye and see if I can include anything else. So I decided to include this tiny word sticker that says I love you, fix a little enamel dot, and call it good. So thank you so much for watching. See how fat my album is. Stay tuned for more videos. Thanks so much. Bye.